Some artists come out of the gate with one album that is amazing and we never hear from them again. Other artists take a little bit to ramp up and then they make their masterpieces later. In this video today, I'm going to discuss with you 5 back-to-back albums for a total of 10 that I think are amazing coming right up. Hey, I'm Russ from the Infectious Groove podcast and YouTube channel. And like I said in the intro, there's a lot of artists that don't put together like a string of fantastic albums. So in this video today, I'm going to discuss 5 artists that I think put out amazing back-to-back records at certain points throughout their career. The first one up for me is an artist that I completely slept on with his first record. And then I went back and listened to the first record and I liked it a lot. But I still think that the second album from Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP, is stunningly good. And to be honest, by the time I dug into that record, I did not expect the follow-up to be as good. And if you ask me, I think the Eminem Show, the album that came after that, is as good or better than the Marshall Mathers LP. And for me, if you ask me which of those two is my favorite, it's pretty much whatever one is playing at that time is the one that I will tell you is my favorite. So I think those two from Eminem are an excellent example. Another one is the debut album and the sophomore effort from Pearl Jam. In many ways, very similar albums with Pearl Jam 10 and Versus. But what they did on 10 with a very, very big reverb, big rock sound, and amazing songwriting, really in many ways was more stripped down on the follow-up Versus. And it's not a surprise that they're both extremely popular records because they're both fantastic albums from start to finish that they released back-to-back right at the start of their career. The next one goes into the country genre, and this is another artist that I completely slept on actually until his third album came out. And then I went back and I liked the debut album, but I think the second record is extremely strong, and that's Garth Brooks and No Fences. Now, of course, this is the record with Friends in Low Places, so that really is what helped skyrocket Garth. But if you go and listen to the rest of that album, even singles like The Thunder Rolls or non-singles like Wolves, absolutely fantastic record. And then the follow-up to that he released next was his third album, Rope in the Wind, which, again, big singles, his cover of Shameless by Billy Joel, The River, Rodeo, huge singles. But then you have like Against the Grain and We Bury the Hatchet, and there's Papa Loved Mama. There's so many fantastic songs on it. So those two back-to-back from Garth definitely fall into this category for me. Now, this next one, when I say the name of the first record, everybody's going to go, well, yeah, I mean, that's a huge one. But I would argue that the follow-up to this record is as good in many ways. And I don't think it gets anywhere near the recognition that it deserves. So Purple Rain from Prince, and that's the one that I'm sure you're going, well, yeah, that's an amazing album. But the record that followed it, Around the World in a Day, is amazing on so many levels. If you haven't heard that full record, you probably know it at least from Raspberry Beret. But the whole record leans toward rock. It's still very funky. It's still very R&B, but it leans toward rock. And it's very psychedelic. He went in a completely different direction with the album from Purple Rain, and it's still absolutely fantastic. There's songs on there like The Ladder that are in the vein of a bluesy ballad like Purple Rain that I think are absolutely fantastic. The last one I'm going to round this out with is a pair of albums from an artist who went solo, and me, along with many, many other people, weren't sure what to expect. And that is the first 2 solo efforts from Jack White. His first solo album, Blunderbuss, I was taken with from the moment I heard it. The first thing I heard off of it was the single Love Interruption, which for me was so far removed from what he had done overall in the White Stripes that I was really excited to hear more. And then even when songs like 16 Saltines came to the forefront, which is very much a White Stripes sound, to me, I don't know, but that the strength of the album Blunderbuss helped shift my mind mentally into accepting Jack as a solo act. And then the follow-up, Lazaretto, which is so far is my personal favorite record that Jack White has done. Again, much like I said earlier about Eminem, where I didn't think he could top it. I figured there was no way Jack White was going to top Blunderbuss. And then he put out Lazaretto, and all the way across the board, in my opinion, it's everything he did right on Blunderbuss, just amplified and more of it. So those are 5 records, 10 total, really, 5 artists who put out fantastic back-to-back albums, in my opinion. Let me know what some of yours are, if you agree with some of mine, or if you, haven't even tried to listen maybe to some of these follow-up records, like that Prince one, Around the World in a Day. As we always say, thank you so much for watching, but make sure to leave a comment. The comments are what keep the channel going. So please leave your comments below, and we'll be more than happy to get back to you.